Yay! She's here. Yay. Yay. Hey, beautiful. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's see. See if I can do that. Okay. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Give me. Oh, I might have you muted. It might be all me. Doggone it. Let's see. Why can't I undo it? I think that does it.
Can you hear me now?
I sure can.
It was on my end. I'm sorry. When you said that, I was like, let me check my side. Maybe I am muted over here.
Yes, I know. I got some lag going. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can do. Why did I do this? Can you hear that feedback?
No.
I think I know what it is. Let me see. Me, I'm just, girl, exit full screen. Okay, so here we go. Maybe if I had you on here, you cannot minimize Zoom while you are recording this meeting. Okay, well then we won't minimize it. Okay, so here we go. I think it's because I'm streaming on YouTube is why I'm hearing some feedback. If you're not hearing it, then what I'm probably going to do, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you clear, crystal clear.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is take these headphones off because what's playing is like 5 seconds ago. So it's
okay.
It's throwing me off. So I'm hoping I can still hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Of course not. That would be too much like right.
Did you unplug the headphones?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the YouTube because let's see. But see, okay. So what I did was I just ended the live stream and I can just add it. I can just post it later because it was just giving me feedback and it was just too much. I'm like hearing
Do you think maybe it's my earphones? Let me try taking mine off. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Then I'm hearing a buzz.
You hear a buzzing sound?
I'm pretty sure it was the stream.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, now it's buzzing. Wait a minute. Maybe I was causing the buzz. Okay, so no buzz anymore. Buzz is gone.
Is it the mic? Maybe the microphone?
My mic? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm not hearing it anymore. But you're a little bit lower. Were your buds, did they have a mic attached? Your earpieces?
Yeah, there's a mic in the earphones.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Barely hear you through my speaker.
You can barely hear me?
You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Well, when I put my earphones back in, I can hear you just great. Yeah.
Okay, so perfect.
And when I don't have them on, yeah.
Okay. Cool beans. Hi.
Hi.
Just like, hello.
I'm so glad to be here with you.
I know. I feel honored. I am drinking.
Oh my gosh, I feel honored.
I'm drinking my Kool-Aid. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Cheers. I got my Kool-Aid too in a can.
That's right. Let me tell you, girl, just in case you did not know, like when I first got on Facebook, my sister was already
Mm-hmm.
on it and she had been telling me for like a year that I needed to get on Facebook or whatever. And I'm like, I do MySpace. I don't need to do Facebook, you know. I was still on MySpace or whatever. And so she pulled me into the new millennium or whatever. And one of the
I
she
did
was
not know
telling me
people were
certain
still on
people to
MySpace.
follow. And you were one of the ones that she told me to
Uh-huh.
follow. And when I tell you, it was like getting HBO as a 13-year-old, you know, you were so raw and uncut. I was just not ready. I'm like, is this what the internet is all about? She can just say what's on her mind and it's okay. I want to do that. I want to be like that. And that's when I started opening up. Was from watching you just pretty
Yeah.
much read people like the library. Like you inspired me, girl, to open up my whole shell. I came all the way out.
Well,
Like if
that's
Boo can
great.
do it, I can do
I'm
it
so
too.
glad. Yeah,
Yes.
and you were hilarious. You keep me laughing. I'm so glad you did. I am so
Well, see,
glad
that's my
you
job.
did.
I'm a
I'm so
comedian.
glad you listened to her.
People
Yeah,
forget I'm a
yeah,
stand-up
yeah.
comedian, you know, so I get so political sometimes that, you know, they kind of lose sight of the fact, oh, well, you know what? She actually does do comedy. Yeah. Pretty good at it too, you know. But now
Yeah,
I'm writing
yeah, you are very
screenplays.
good at it. Some of your, oh, are you?
Mhm. I just filmed my
Nice.
first movie in June. It's called
Oh my
Starstruck.
gosh, congratulations.
Thank you. It is
Oh
being
yeah?
edited. I cannot wait for it to be finished. I am so waiting for it to be finished. I just want to see some of it. Like, just
Yeah.
send me a clip or something. And they're just like, it's not ready yet. Hurry up and wait.
Oh wow. That's exciting. That's
Yes, I
exciting.
can't
Good for
wait. And then I've
you.
got other ones.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you'll have to keep me updated
Oh, yeah, because I'm going to
so I
need
can
everyone
share
and
with
their
my people.
mothers and their
Yeah.
cousins to stream it
Yeah.
when it's time, whenever.
Yeah.
And I don't know
I'll
what platform it's going to be on. A few of them are waiting for the content to be finished, but I'm probably going to go with whoever
mhm.
has the highest bid because it's going to be theater quality.
Yeah.
So, and it's a pretty good story. You know, it's light. It's kind of a what would I guess like Boomerang a little bit. Only
Oh, so it's like a love, is it a love story?
yes, it's a rom-com, romantic
Mm.
comedy. Only
Oh, nice.
she's the man eater and he's like the nice
Mm.
guy, but also the most eligible bachelor. So he's one of those guys that's
Mm-hmm.
dated a lot of women, but really didn't sleep with
Mm-hmm.
that many of them because he doesn't like just sleeping with just anybody. Then he meets
Mm-hmm.
her, and you know, she's one of those, she'll sleep with you, but as soon as you start talking feelings, she's like, okay, move along. Gotta cut you off because
She
I don't
sounds
do
like me.
feelings, you know. So,
That sounds like me sometimes. Yeah.
oh, listen,
Mm-hmm.
the one that I wrote it, the one who played her role, I kind of had her in mind. So it was only right for me to offer her the role because she was like, girl, this is me. And I'm like, I know, right?
That's
Because she
funny.
kind of inspired the character anyway. So I'm excited for people to see it because it's kind of a reverse role where you know how men can be whoremongers and still
Mm-hmm.
have their pick of who they want to marry. And then the woman's
Mm-hmm.
all excited that, ooh, he wants to marry me. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's the opposite.
And that's
She's the
great.
one out here, you know,
Yeah.
loose footed. And he's the one that's looking for something more substantial and willing to wait until something more substantial comes. So he's not out here doing casual sex, you know.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like tired of the black man being like the enemy in everybody's movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you changed the roles because it's important that people know out there. I'm in the middle of something. Can you guys go upstairs? Sorry.
It's okay. How cute. Yes, and I definitely want to, you know, tell different stories, give people different ideas. My third script, which I just sent the one sheet to my agent, and he told me what I needed to change because I don't know nothing about selling scripts and getting funded and stuff like that. I funded my first movie by myself, so nobody's
Yeah.
money was used. But I'm hearing my scripts are pretty doggone good, and I should be getting funding for them. So I did my one sheet, and this next one that I'm probably going to produce is called Seven Questions, and it's a romantic comedy too, but it's got like the I don't want to give too much of it, but it reminds me, I get in the feel of a Love Jones when I think about the script and how the love kind of unfolds. And so I'm really excited to see where that one can go. Are you an actress of any type?
Acting's not really my thing. I've done acting before, but it's not
Mhm.
really my forte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your forte? Because it's got to be in entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to go back in entertainment, it would be in radio or, doing like a podcast like you're doing
Right.
or a
Because you
talk
was
show
doing
of some
that when I
some
first
sort.
got on
Yeah.
Facebook, and I was just like so amazed. You was like, I think it was like
Yeah,
you and
thank you.
a guy and a female, I want to say.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was Brian and my friend Kelly. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's dope. I was like,
Hmm.
wow, she's so
Yeah.
pretty.
Oh, thank you.
She's so
Yeah,
pretty and in your
that's when I
face.
knew yeah, that's when I had found my calling.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Don't be
Hold on,
sorry.
my dog just ran down here. Hold on one
That's
second.
okay. I just put my cat out and had to shut the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
Seems like every time I get ready to record, he comes in here begging.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of recording something and you guys are messing this up. Can you please take Oreo outside? I'm sorry.
I love it. These things are organic for a reason, you know. I don't put a time limit on it. If we're done in 30 minutes, we're done in 30. If we're done in 2 hours, we're done. I try to make it just flow as, as naturally as
Yeah.
possible. So are
Yeah.
you okay? I know you said something about your lifestyle being more free.
Mhm.
And you said most people wouldn't even be able to relate to the type of freedom that you're experiencing. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because you say some stuff sometimes, and I'd be like, man, I can't wait for this doggone interview.
Yeah, when I say that, I mean a lot of people don't even question why they believe what they believe. They, even if it doesn't resonate with them,
Right.
they'll say it and go along with it just because that's what society's doing. That's what their parents taught them. I don't know how many times I hear, well, this is what I was taught. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, that's great. I mean, if it resonates with you and you
Right.
truly believe in it,
Right.
but a lot of people don't even really agree with how they're living. And then they wonder why they're unhappy, why they're
Right.
stressed. And I'm like, because you're not really living your authentic life. You're living up to standards that someone forced upon you, and you believe that that's how it should be. And you never once
Question it.
questioned it and said, you know what? This doesn't really work for me.
Right.
I don't actually really believe in this. I don't really actually like this lifestyle.
Right.
And that was me. And when I really started to dig deep and started to really question everything from the way I talk to what I
Mm-hmm.
do for a living to how I raise my child to just my everyday life. I was constantly told to be, I was raised in a very traditional Asian home. So it was very about success and money. And if you don't have a house and you don't have a car and you don't have a degree,
Right.
if you don't go to college, then you're a failure. You'll be nothing. You'll be homeless on the street.
See.
And that's what I was constantly told. And
Right.
for a long time, I suffered from depression because of it. And I didn't even know. It was like I just got so used to being depressed that I didn't even
Right.
realize I was suffering from depression. I just
Wow.
knew I was unhappy and I couldn't figure out why.
Trying to attain those things to be
Trying
normal.
to, yeah, just trying to live up to my parents' approval. And I was unconscious that I was doing it because it just became
It
so
seemed natural.
habitual. Yeah.
Right. Did you ever run into people that were successful that didn't go to college?
Oh, yeah. Lots of people.
Did it
Yeah.
amaze you? Like, how are you
Yeah.
not homeless?
Yeah. Yeah,
How are
exactly.
you not destitute
Uh-huh.
under the highway?
Yeah, exactly. And when I just started to realize, wait a minute, this is, when I got into radio, when you first probably heard about me,
Yeah,
that's when I realized, oh my gosh, this is what I love to do.
right.
And
It was not on the
I'm
list of
not going
Asian
right.
professions.
Exactly. And when I started to say to myself, why do I keep trying to live up to other people's approval? And I really started to dig deep, and I started going on this spiritual journey of finding myself.
Mhm.
And when I got it, that's when I started saying, oh my gosh, I can only imagine how many people are going through the same exact thing I am. And they
Yeah,
haven't reached that point of freedom yet. And the
right.
freedom is not necessarily financial freedom. It's
Mm-mm.
not necessarily your belongings or material things. When I say freedom, I'm talking the freedom to think for yourself in every single thing that you do.
And being self-aware,
Hmm.
and that's something that I definitely see in you. We had wasn't really a argument, but maybe a small disagreement, and I just figured it would be what it was. I wasn't going to delete you because I just love you. It
Oh,
was what
thank
it
you.
was, and I knew it was just a moment. But you took the time to come in my inbox and discuss it and apologize. Like, you know what? Maybe I wasn't looking at it, the right way. And maybe I didn't say it the
Hmm.
right way. And that meant so much to me. I said, this woman is so self aware. And I'm the same way. I will do the
Yeah,
same thing. If I feel like I'm wrong, I will go and I have to. I have to be
yeah,
the woman that I ask other people to be.
exactly.
And part of that is being big enough to say, you know what, I was wrong in that situation. I
Yeah.
probably need to go and pan that out. Even if they don't want to deal with me, I need to make it right because I
Hmm.
feel like I was wrong. And
Yeah.
so let me go ahead and give my sincerest apology. If they don't want to receive it, that's on them. But my
Yeah.
conscience is clear and I've been the woman that I'm supposed to be. And so when you came and you said that, I was like, see, look at her trying to grow. Look at her growing and things, girl. I was like, look
Well,
at her. I was definitely pleased and taken aback and
well,
appreciative.
thank you. Well, no, I wanted to, first of all, I value your friendship and I respect you a lot. So
Right.
when you said what you said, I was like, Tara would, I'm sorry, is it Tara or Tara? I don't want
It's
to
Tara.
mispronounce.
Okay,
Tara,
wait a
okay.
minute. This is me. Wait a minute. Give me 1 second. I just bought you. Don't be acting like that. Like I legit just bought it. Like I just got it out of the package yesterday because my
Mm,
Lenovo microphone is like the ghost whisperer, and I'm
yeah.
talking regular, and they can, nobody can hear me. It's like I'm in Asia somewhere in Iraq, and they're right there, and I'm in Iraq, and I'm really in Connecticut, but it's like I'm in Iraq, and they're like, "Why are you so far away?" I'm like, "I don't know." I've had so many problems with this thing. I'm like, maybe I can stream directly to YouTube and get some more subscribers.
I think that's awesome. I love what you're doing. I love it.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, well, Tara, you're not the one to normally, you don't comment a whole lot. And when you do, sometimes it's just a few words. I notice people's patterns, especially if it's someone that I really like.
right.
So when you said more than usual, at first I was kind of defensive, like, wait a minute, I'm not the kind of person
Right.
or maybe, I'm not what she thinks. What she's saying is not exactly what I'm feeling. And then when
Right.
I reread it and when I reread my words, I said, oh, I can see how this could be totally misconstrued. But I didn't think about it when I posted it
Right.
until you said something. So when you said something and I said, let me put myself in their shoes, in her shoes, and how would this sound? And then
Right.
I had to I think I even
Right. And
deleted
I
the
can't
post,
even
but
remember what it was. I just remember it being something. And it was
mhm.
something that I thought twice about even saying anything. I was like, no, Anne would want to know.
Yeah,
She would
yeah.
want
No,
to
it was
know if
about
she's
it
saying
was
something
about
that's insensitive. She would want to know, period.
yeah, it was about Black Lives Matter and the protesting. And see, I was
Yeah.
not aware. I don't think that the protesters and the people that are looting are sometimes one and the same. So
Right.
that, you know what I mean? I didn't think about it because I haven't been paying that close attention until you said something. And then when you said something, I started really paying attention to what was going on out there. And I started to watch more of the coverage in people's lives, people that are out there, not just the media coverage, but people that are actually out there protesting and showing what's going on. And I said, oh shit, I'm sorry, am I not supposed to cuss? I should have
Girl,
asked
I ain't
before.
worried about that. She ain't
But I thought
monetized,
to
girl. We
myself,
is not worried
yeah,
about that right now.
yeah.
We cross that bridge.
But anyway,
I'm sure I got a allowance of cuss words.
yeah. But I thought about it and I said, yeah, there's three types of people that I feel that are out there. There's the peaceful protesters. There are the protesters that are rightfully so angry that they're just, their anger is boiling over, which I totally understand. And then you have the people that are taking advantage, that really could care less. They're just taking advantage of the situation and they're taking whatever they can. And all of these people are being lumped into
one section,
to one movement. And now you got people thinking it's Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, no, it's not.
But here's the catch. It's mostly the right wing that's doing all the damage.
Right.
They want the protesters to look violent. They want them to look like they're looting. They want them to look like they're, doing the most. And my whole thing is I don't care if they were looting. Nothing can be taken from you guys that hasn't been taken from us and more. So I feel like when people say I'm not a looter, I'm not a thief, that's not my form of protest. It's just not, it never will be. I'm more of a boycotter, financier. Maybe I can drop a donation to the bail fund. That's my form of in education. That's my lane. But I tell people all the time, I can't tell somebody else what their form of protest is, because it's like when you feel like they've taken everything, and they really have, they've taken everything from Black people. They took our religion, they took our names, they took our history, they took everything and just said you was a slave and that's it. You're not going to learn anything else about your history. Like, you started in 1690 with America. Nothing happened before then, and it's like, if you didn't, like, I can't even explain the type of racism that Black people experience on a daily basis. Like, I can give you an example. Okay, the dentist, somehow the insurance company doesn't pay the the premium or whatever in one lump sum. They do it in monthly installments. And I got these Invisaligns. So when it was all said and done, I got a cash payment for like $2,000. I paid up front, and then I got a cash payment when all the payments had come through the insurance company, which they send so much every month. Well, they sent me this check for like, I think it was like $1,800, nothing major. And I was like, well, David, I'm going to go cash this check. But first, let me get my clothes on. Let me do my hair. Let me do my makeup. He's like, why you got to do all that? I was like, because I'm going to cash a check. He was like, so? And I was like, they're probably not going to cash it, David, because I'm Black and it's over $1,000. He was like, nah, he was like, you really think so? And I'm like, let's just see. I said, and I don't want you to come in there and stand with me. You take your butt on somewhere. Because, my husband's white. So I don't want them to see him and say, okay, she's okay. I want to see what they're going to do with this check. And the check was, you can call the bank. It's a local bank.
Yeah.
And they said, it doesn't go through. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't go through? It's a good check. And they was like, it just doesn't go through. It doesn't give me a reason, but you can call this number. And the number, the reason that they gave me was something that Walmart can do. They can just decide that the check is no good and not cash it for you. Doesn't have to have a reason, because the reason came back to nothing. When I got my letter, they said, you'll get a letter in the mail and it'll explain the reason. The reason was nothing. The reason was I was Black. So took it to the actual bank and they cashed it without me having to have an account, because they could see that the money, it was a good check. But, Walmart wouldn't do it. And I told David, I said, I told you. Wow. I told you there was absolutely no reason for that. None. But the fact that I was Black and I was trying to cash a check and they didn't want me to. So.
Yeah, that's the systemic racism.
Oh my gosh. And it's ingrained in people and they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like they were questioning my validity and even being in the customer service line before they knew what I wanted. Like, what does she want? And they don't even realize they're doing it. Like, oh my gosh, she's gonna try to cause problems. And it's like, wow. I've been in those restaurants where the waitress doesn't even come back to check on you because you're Black and she feels like you're not going to tip anyway.
I've heard,
And I'm one
I've
of
heard
the
those sorts
best
of comments.
tippers I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
tip it 20 if you're crap,
Yeah.
but I'm a 30 to 40% tipper a lot of times because I've been a waitress. So for me, I feel like if you take good care of me, I'm gonna take good care of you. And I ain't gonna put it all on the card. I'm gonna put some cash in there too, so you can just put it down and you ain't even gotta foul that, honey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I be looking out, so
Yeah.
don't do me like that, so
Yeah. It's heartbreaking. I've witnessed it growing up many, many, many times. Oh, and
yes.
I've been on the receiving end of it because of my association of having Black friends, or my boyfriend was Black. So automatically I was put into a category, or people that didn't know that most of my friends are Black, or my boyfriend is Black, and they're just meeting me in a work situation and they don't know. I overhear the conversations among, some, I don't want to say all white people, but some, the things
And
that
they
they
have no
say. And I'm
clue.
just like, and they don't have any idea, and then when they find out, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Sometimes they're so used to it, they're so unconscious to it, they don't
exactly.
even,
It's second
they may
nature.
even forget that they said it around me, and I'm like,
Exactly. They have to,
mm-hmm,
then they find out like, oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
oh, oh, you did,
Yep.
oh, Tyrone, is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've experienced it in my own family growing up, well, I grew up going to a school that was predominantly white, in a white suburban area in Colorado.
Okay.
And yeah, when I became a teen, growing up, mostly, white boys didn't really like me. They weren't
Hmm.
really into me. And there weren't that many Asian guys that went to my school, maybe one or two. The
Right.
percentage of the Asian community was very, very small. And then the percentage of the Black community was also very small, but it was still more than the Asian community.
Right.
And the Black community was always welcoming and very kind to me and
Mhm.
treated me like family. So that's kind of where I, started to
You like who
go
likes
towards,
us?
because I'm the only Asian person, but I didn't really see color until people started pointing it out to me. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just went where I was welcomed. And
Right.
when I
Exactly. We
started,
like who likes us. I
right,
mean,
and when I started hanging out more with, the Black community, and I had more Black friends, that's when I started to notice that the few Asian friends that I had, they cut me off completely. And white people didn't really want anything to do with me anyway. So, you know,
now that's giving them even more reason.
mm-hmm,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So how did your family react to you dating Black men? Was that an issue culturally
Oh, it
or
was a huge, I was disowned. I was kicked out of the house. I was told I would never amount to anything. I was told that if I didn't date a white or Asian guy, my life would go down the drains. I don't know. I've been called stupid, I don't know how many times. And, I was 13 at the time when I had my
that's
first,
crazy?
boyfriend that was Black. And yeah, I was treated very, very poorly by my own family. So,
That's crazy. And
mm-hmm,
and what's really crazy is there's a sneak bit of truth to it, because they know growing up or living in America, Black people are oppressed. Why would you want to be with someone that is oppressed? Why would you want to be with someone who could possibly be murdered by police just coming home from the grocery store? Why would you want to be with someone who's going to make less money than a white man because they're just not going to pay him what they pay a white man? It's,
yeah,
and it's crazy. It's crazy, but
yeah,
a lot of the prejudice when it comes around that is from stereotypes that are
mm-hmm,
unfounded. Like Black people are
mm-hmm,
not inherently violent. Poor
mm-hmm,
people are inherently violent.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has nothing to do with it. Poverty
exactly,
causes balance, brings about balance, and it definitely correlates around the world, no matter who the people are. Anytime you
mm-hmm,
see poverty, you're going to see people fighting for survival. You're going to see them committing crimes if they can't get it the legal way. And it's for some reason don't want to lay down and starve to death. It's like
yeah,
they want to try to go get some food some kind of way. Even if it means taking it from this old lady. I got to get some food to my babies. And
yeah,
so with COVID, balance is really skyrocketing and people don't really know what to do with it. And I'm like, yeah, people need relief. People are
yeah,
desperate. People are 4 and 5 months behind on their rent and are
yeah,
having to pay it. Some people haven't even gotten their unemployment yet. So
mm-hmm,
people are desperate, girls.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what are you doing now these days?
Well, right now I'm just taking it easy, taking care of my daughter and my
Yes,
puppy.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful girl.
Yeah. Yeah, she's she doesn't do traditional schooling, so she's with me pretty much all day.
Well, that's
And I'm a
beautiful
single
though.
mom. Yeah, yeah, I'm a single mom. And I'm just so grateful that I'm able to, take care of her
If
and
I knew
handle all of
then
this.
what I know now, my kids would not have done public schools. And it's
Yeah.
because they really teach Black people how to be okay with oppression, how to,
Hmm.
they teach white people. I mean, pretty much everybody graduates, public schools has racism ingrained in them. Like when you
Yeah.
just see so much of white people's accomplishments, white people's accomplishments, white people's accomplishments, and nothing of
Hmm.
Black people's accomplishments. Well,
Hmm.
peanut butter, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
George Washington Carver. I'll call them the
Uh-huh.
approved Negroes.
Yeah.
George Washington Carver, they'll tell you about Martin Luther King. They will tell you about
Hmm.
Rosa Parks, but they ain't
Hmm.
really gonna spend too much time talking about, Fred Hampton, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
some of the real ones
Yeah.
from back in the day. And that's fine, but you giving her education is putting her miles ahead of other kids that I'm assuming her father's Black.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do
She's
they
half
what
Black.
so she's just biracial, or what do you is there a name for it?
Sh- Yeah, she's biracial. She's half Vietnamese and half Black.
Okay.
So, but yeah, she was in traditional schooling up until she finished preschool. And then when she finished preschool, that's when I left my corporate job and I left the whole traditional life behind. I just, it didn't resonate with
Traditional
me.
life behind. Explain that. What do you mean?
Just like going to a 9 to 5, going to a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Hmm.
She's in school all day while I'm at work, the very American traditional life.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to their 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
And so I don't want people to think that I'm condemning them.
No.
It just didn't work for us. It
Right.
wasn't, it didn't, it just, I started to feel like I was in a prison mentally, and I
Yes.
I hated it. I was like, this is not who I am. I
I
can't
feel
do
you.
this anymore. Yeah.
I feel
So
you.
when she finished preschool, we were in Huntington Beach, and she went to a predominantly white preschool.
Mm.
And she would come home every day and she would say, I wish I had white skin, mom. I wish I had blonde hair. And that's when I started to think to
Ooh.
myself, I've got to get her out of this school, because I
Right.
don't want her thinking that anything is wrong with her. She's
Exactly.
beautiful. So that's when I said, okay. I always knew in my heart and in my gut that I didn't, traditional public schooling didn't resonate with me.
Right.
I didn't want her to grow up in a system that I grew up in,
Right.
because the government is the one. They're the ones that really dictate what's being taught in schools,
Oh yeah.
and
That's
depending
really
on,
what
like you
Trump
said,
just
which
did.
neighborhood you're in, depends on what you're being taught in your school.
Like
And I didn't want to leave it up to the teachers to,
to give
you
her.
know, I didn't want her to sit in front of a teacher for 8 hours a day. Number one, we don't know that teacher that well. We don't know the teacher's values, the teacher's morals, what their home life is like, what their financial literacy is like. And I'm not the most smart person when it comes to financial literacy, but
Well,
I
her
don't know
racial
much about this
biases.
person. Yeah, we don't know much about these teachers, and I get it. Some parents, they don't have a choice; they have to go to work. They don't have any other choice but to put their child in school. But if they have a choice, my choice was to take her out, because I didn't want her sitting in front of a stranger that we don't know much about. I
Right.
don't know what's being said in between classes, what's being taught during classes,
Right.
and then just her personality. She's got a very free spirited fairy type of energy. So if she has to sit in a structured class for 8 hours a day, she would go crazy.
She's like,
And I'll be damned if anyone says something's wrong with my child because she doesn't fit in with a society where it's separated by age and
right.
class. And if you don't get to the next grade because you didn't make straight A's or make the grade, then something's wrong with you. I didn't want her
Right.
growing up in a society where she's being told something's wrong with her. She was already saying, oh, mommy, um,
I
did
need
I
blonde
do
hair.
well on this? She went to kindergarten for a couple of days and she was already bringing her homework home and she was already feeling judged
Wow.
Mommy, if I don't get an A on this, does that mean I'm not smart?
My
And I was
son was
like,
that way. He was
yeah,
he
I was
was
like,
obsessed with
no.
his grades. He got a B, I think,
Hmm.
in the fifth grade for the first time. And he comes home crying, scared to give me his report card. And I'm like, what's the matter? He said, B stands for bad. I'm like, no, it doesn't. B stands for better than C. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
no, it doesn't. And he's like,
And
really?
yeah.
Really?
And I think
I'm
regardless,
like,
no matter
really?
what the message is at home, even no matter how hard you try to tell your kids, if you're one of those parents that
Mhm.
tells your child, no, your grades don't define you. But some parents don't do that. A lot of parents are, you know,
Yeah, you're a loser.
shame, if shame, you didn't get an A or B, and they don't realize that they're unconsciously training their child to make them feel like their worth and their value is based
It's
on
hung up
a
on
grade. It's based on what this society and this system that's been put in place that we had no say so in.
none.
And then they're living up to this, and no matter how much you tell them, baby, no, you're not defined by your grades. A part of them still will feel like that because when they go to school, they're around other
Then why
kids,
is it
they're
so
around
important to
teachers that are
everybody?
telling them, yeah,
Right.
you have to get this grade, you have to pass this test to make it to the next grade, otherwise you're going to have to stay in the first grade, and you don't want to be the kid that's stuck in the first grade, do you? And now this is subconsciously making this child
I
feel
don't want
like,
to stay in the first grade. I want to
mm-hmm,
go to the second grade.
yeah, I'm not good enough, oh my
Right,
gosh,
right,
I'm not
right.
smart, I must be stupid.
You wanna know how impressionable kids are. My daughter, when we were in Kentucky still, we went to the doctor and she wasn't big, she's never been fat. Never. But she had a little bit on the sides, nothing major.
Mhm.
And this doctor basically wanted her to go on this diet because talking about she is, you know, overweight and this and that. And I'm like, she ain't really overweight, but I ain't think too much
Mhm.
of it. To this day, my daughter is still messed up behind that. She was trying to not eat regular food, trying to just eat just lettuce. And I'm like, honey, we're not doing that. I said, let me
See
tell
what
you
I mean?
something.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a black woman. So you're going to have extra fat in certain areas, and it's okay because you're built
Hmm.
different. I said, there's nothing wrong with the way you're built. And in fact, you're going to want to have a little bit extra in a few years. You don't know what to do with it now. She's got these big old breasts, but
Right, right.
she had bigger breasts than me when she was in the fifth grade. I'm like, no, what do you need with them?
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah, me and God had
Yeah.
a conversation because I was like, because, you know, I had to have a conversation with God. I really did because I always wanted big breasts. I did, and they just
Yeah.
it finally happened, but it came with a fupa. It came with a double chin. So,
Yeah.
me and God, we had a conversation. I was like, really, you gonna sit her in here with her old bras telling me that she can't fit them no more, and maybe I can? Like, really,
Oh.
God? That's what we doing?
Oh.
Like, a man feel away when his son get taller than him. You know.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
feel like I'm okay feeling the way when my daughter's breast was bigger than mine. She's in the fifth grade. It's not fair. It's just
Yeah,
not fair.
yeah. No, that's understandable. That's
Yeah,
that's
but
young. Yeah.
yeah, I let her know. I'm like, I'm 200 pounds. You ain't got nothing on me now, honey. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, I wasn't mad. I was just like, really, God, you gonna show
Yeah.
really? I
Right.
gotta go and
I've
buy
had
her
those same
bras. It's like,
I feel you. I'm
yeah,
laughing because I feel you. I can relate on different types of situations, but
yes,
same
yes.
concept. I'm like, really? Is she already saying these kinds of things? Really?
You wait a minute though.
Yeah.
You got your daughter's what? She's about
She's
6.
6. She's 6 now. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got a little
Hmm.
while, but I'm telling you, girl, when they get, but you're blessed to be, homeschooling her, so you don't have the outside influences like my daughter does, and it's like when we first moved here, it was like she was obsessed with losing weight, and I was getting
Yeah.
ready to get her a psychiatrist because there was nothing wrong with her. There was literally like no weight to lose. You're a kid,
Yeah.
so you've got some
Right.
baby fat here and there, but as you get older, you're gonna trim on out.
Well,
Like,
Tara, I hate to say it, but unfortunately, even with her being homeschooled,
mhm.
she still has influences because she has access to YouTube and TV, and
Yeah.
she's already coming to me at the age of 6, talking about her weight, and I'm like, So
Mm-mm.
I feel you. I'm looking at her like, where are you getting this notion that you need
Right.
to be this, you look great. What are you talking about? And,
Right.
it's from seeing different things on YouTube or Instagram. And
Right. And I told her, I said,
anyway, hmm
I ain't feeding into that because there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with you. If
yeah,
you were obese, if you had a weight problem, trust me, I wouldn't be buying things that could help you get bigger. Like I
hmm
don't buy a lot of junk food, but I used to buy like a box of, Debbie snack cakes or whatever. But then I realized, I buy like 2 boxes and they're gone in a day. No, y'all are tearing y'all stomachs up. Y'all just won't get any since y'all don't know how to eat them sparingly.
right,
Save
right,
some
right.
for tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. You can't leave those kinds of snacks around kids. I'll probably eat them myself too.
See, I can't. Like I'm
Yeah.
a candy girl. Like I like my
hmm
Jolly Ranchers, like gummy,
Yeah,
the gummy
yeah.
stuff, the Haribo. It's like
Uh-huh.
the
I
best
love
thing since
candy
sliced
too.
bread to me. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Tough,
No.
tough gummy. It's so tough, but it's so yummy.
Yeah, I think that's why I love it too. Because it has that texture.
Oh
Yeah, it's the
yeah. It's
texture
like
of it.
you don't want to just chew me, do ya? I do, but I can't.
Yeah, no, it's challenging for kids and adults.
Right. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you some strange questions I want to play just a little game and I'm gonna ask you 2 sets of smash, marry, and curve.
Okay.
Diddy, Odell
Wait,
Beckham,
what?
P. Diddy,
Okay.
Odell Beckham, and Colin Kaepernick. Who would you smash? Who would you marry? Who would you curve?
I would curve Diddy. I would marry Colin, and I would smash Odell.
Sister! Okay. One more. And this
This
was a
is
little
funny.
bit harder.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan, Idris Elba,
Hmm.
and Denzel Washington. If they weren't married.
Okay. If they were all single,
Mm-hmm.
I would. Oh my gosh, this
I
one is
know.
harder.
I know.
I would. I would marry Idris. I would smash Michael B. And I would curve Denzel. But I love Denzel. I love Denzel. I know that was a hard choice.
Well, we both
Marrying.
gonna marry Idris though. We both gonna marry Idris though, because
Yeah,
it's Idris.
yeah, Denzel's in the close running.
Yeah.
He's in the close run.
I would smash Denzel and I would curve Michael B. Jordan. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about that boy, but it's just something. Okay, it brings me to my next question. And I'm not saying this at all about Michael B. Jordan, but would you ever date a bisexual man?
No.
Reasons?
Um. I just feel like you're already having to deal with other women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to deal with other women and other men on top of that.
So because I'm always asking this question because I'm married now, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of men out here that are bisexual and it won't even tell you.
Yeah.
They've slept with men, but they
Mm.
would never tell.
Yeah.
And so a man that is honest but swears that he's going to be monogamous, does it matter that he's been with other men? Or is it the because for me, I'm like, I don't know that I could date a bisexual man, but then I can't really tell you why.
Well,
Because
let me tell you why. Because a part of him will crave male parts,
what if he's the
whether
top
it's, well, he may just crave the masculinity, maybe just
of
the
the man?
muscular part of man, or the deep voice, or because there's something that men have that women don't have, and vice versa. And so there's something about a man that's physically appealing to him, physically, emotionally, maybe all of the above, or just one. Whatever it is, it's something I can't give him, no matter what I do.
That's what I used to
So if
say.
yeah, I could never be in a relationship seriously with a guy who's bisexual, because even if he said he would be monogamous, because a part of me would always feel like I know that somewhere deep down, no matter how much you try to cover it, you're going to have that craving.
So you're saying that you feel like bisexual people can never be with just one person,
Oh no, I feel like they could. I definitely feel like if someone really wanted to be monogamous,
but you
they
wouldn't want to
would.
take the risk on it.
I wouldn't want to take the risk, and not only that, I just wouldn't want to take that away from them.
But
You know
for
what I mean? Like
me, I think I might be a little bit old fashioned. I
yeah.
don't I don't like the idea of my boyfriend having sex with another man, whether he's the
Hmm.
top or the bottom. I don't know what, maybe it's that, toxic masculinity I love so much, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just
Yeah.
something about it. But then I feel like a bigot when I say it because I can't really put it into words. It's like, am I saying that I don't believe bisexual people have the capability of being with just one person? If they do, then it would have to be a male or a woman, one or the other.
Hmm.
And if they lean more towards women, but they've had sex with men, should he be forced to stay single forever because he now wants to settle down, have a family, and be with just one woman? Or, I mean, I just feel like the way we feel, the way we
Hmm.
honestly feel about it, which we are like, no, not for me. That's
Yeah.
what keeps a lot of men on the down low, because they know that when they're ready to settle down and not play so much, they won't be able
Hmm.
to get a woman to take them serious because they've been with men. And I feel like at some point we got to change. I mean, I don't have to, I'm married, but at
Yeah.
some point women have to start being more open because men aren't that way with women. Women can go out and be with another
No,
woman.
I know a lot of men. I know a few men. I shouldn't
Mhm.
say a lot. I know a few men that found out that their wife, I have a very good friend who found out his wife was bisexual.
Oh wow.
This was 4 kids later. And then I've also met men that were in relationships with girlfriends that they found out later were bisexual, and they didn't want anything to do with her after that anymore. Because again, it was
Wow.
something that they couldn't
You
compete with.
lied. Right.
Yeah, it's not only the lie, but also you not only do I have to deal with other men trying to get at you, now I got to deal with other women too. And it's one thing to compete with another man because I'm a man too. That's what they're thinking in their mind. I am a man. I can do all these same things that other men are doing. But what I can't give you is what another woman can give you. If you're
So in
craving,
essence, it's you don't believe that they would be faithful because if you believe that they could be faithful, then it wouldn't matter who's trying to get at them. They're going to
oh,
reject
I
them.
know, I believe that
You
they
know.
could. Like I said, I think that if someone really put their mind to something and they really wanted to be monogamous, they
Mm,
could. But it would be a conscious decision that they'd have to make day in and day out.
right.
It would be like a forced, I'm not looking, I'm not looking, I'm not looking.
We can
And
say
like I
that
said,
about
it's once,
heterosexual people, though. Really, because
but that's what I'm saying. Not
yeah,
only we're already having to deal with the temptation of, if I'm
other
with a
women.
man, other women, now I got to deal with men and women. Like that. That's too much. I can't do both.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I found out my husband was bisexual, which I know for a fact he's not. I'll tell you why I know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I know. This man can't have his temperature taken. He gags on a doggone thermometer. Seriously.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can't swallow a pill. He
Yeah.
would throw up. He doesn't
Yeah.
like anything like none of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, so if he is, then I know what he wasn't doing.
Right. Right.
I know what he has never done. Cause man,
Yeah.
they're not allowed to tell the truth a lot of times
Hmm.
about what
Yeah.
their sexual experiences are because it will prejudice a woman. And they call it toxic masculinity. I call it gender roles. I just feel
Hmm.
like for me, and I don't want it, but I don't want to be a bigot. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to articulate it better than I'm able to
I
articulate
don't
it.
think that you're being a bigot. I think that it's just well, I see it differently. I don't see it as you being a bigot, because I do know that there are a lot of people that are open to, because they're bisexual too. So, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're just more what I see it as, everyone, it's like whether you prefer strawberry, chocolate, or vanilla ice cream.
Right.
Everyone has their taste. And then you also have, like, I'm a pretty open-minded person when it comes to trying different foods and going and trying different cultures of food. But I do have my limits on certain things I won't try. Like if someone put a brain on a plate, that's where I draw the line. I'm not eating brains.
Brains, balls, nipples.
Right. Tongue.
Not
And I
doing
grew up
it.
in an Asian family where we eat what people call, it's normal to me, but what most society would consider exotic cuisine. But even I have, I come from a family that eats cow tongue. And to me, when I was a kid and still to this day, I can't bring myself to do it. But there's a lot of things that I can eat that seems very normal, like the head on a fish. I can eat the head on a fish and it's very normal to me, but somebody else might find it completely,
The
like, see
eyeballs
the
too.
face you're making.
They said the
I can eat the
eyeballs are the
eyeballs.
best part.
Yeah, they are the best part.
That is grody. I'm sorry, but
But
okay,
that's what
so
I mean. So that's what I mean when
right,
it comes to relationships. I think everyone just has their thing, and you have to know
right.
yourself to know what your limits are, and stay within those limits. And if you try to go outside of it and you find that you like it, then
Mm-hmm.
great. Keep on with it. But if you
Right,
find you tried it and you didn't like it, well, then that's just not who you are.
right. Yeah, for
It's
me,
the
yeah.
same, I like, sometimes I like strawberry, sometimes I like chocolate more, but overall I normally prefer chocolate over strawberry.
Right. She said, and keep the vanilla. I don't like the vanilla. I don't like
Yeah, it's
it. I don't
relevant.
like it.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is when it comes to this type of situation. Because
Right,
I know a lot of people that are very open and would have no problem dating a man or a woman that's bisexual. They would
right.
be perfectly okay with it. They don't have any issues with it. But it's not gross to me. I don't find it disgusting. Like if a guy says, I just every now and then I prefer a guy.
Let me tell
But
you.
someone I'm going to be in a relationship with,
Uh-uh.
now that I can't do.
Right. I don't know that I could do it at all. But if it was a situation where I've already given up the cookie,
Yeah.
like what am I running
Right.
from now? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you got me.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
was this guy I used to date, and he was he waited until after we had sex to tell me to unload all of his baggage on me.
Hmm.
This man had a baby with his first cousin. You talking about not being able to trust the person. Like, so you ain't got no
Wow.
limits. Like,
Oh, yeah. Then
he had
yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
baby with his first cousin, like a whole
Wow.
child. And she was normal, wasn't nothing wrong with her. But
Yeah.
I was just like, ew, you don't have
Yeah.
any limits. Like, there is no
Yeah.
one you would say no to.
Yeah. And see, that's when you realized your limit.
Like,
Yep.
I can't, and
Hmm. See, for him, it's perfectly normal. And that's
right.
why I say you got to date with this people that have the same mindset as far as what your limitations are.
Yeah, because that was a bit crazy. But he waited
Yeah.
and he waited. He knew if he told me prior to, I'd have been like, okay,
Yeah. Sayonara.
okay. But he knew I would find out, if we were going to be
Uh,
serious, which we were moving towards that, and he had just finally gotten it. But yeah, and then he wants to unload all of his baggage. I could have just beat him up, but it was so good, I said, you know what? You better not do
yeah.
it no more. Like
Well, then
it's too
sometimes
late. That
I
child
just
was like 9 at that time, but like, well, she's already here, so who am
yeah.
I? Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
The real kind. So, what are your views on marriage? No, no more ever. No, not gonna do
I've
it.
been married once before,
Mhm,
and I feel like if I'm open to getting married again,
mhm,
as long as it's not a traditional type of marriage. And when I say traditional, I mean where once we get married, we have to follow what society tells us to do. The woman cooks, she's in the kitchen, she does the grocery shopping, he goes to work, we live in the same house. Like that type of traditional type of marriage wouldn't work for me. If
okay.
I were to get married to someone, it would have to be someone with the understanding that I'm still an individual I feel like we could even live separately and see each other when we feel like it. We don't have to live in the same house if we don't want to. So and if we do decide to
Wow.
live together, then we could do that. But
Right.
if it works better for us to live in separate homes, because I like having my space, I like having my
Right.
me time, and I really enjoy being by myself a lot of times. And there's times where I don't want to be around anybody for a couple of days, and
Right.
and that's why I say it has to be someone who has to be very open minded and not have that in their mind that it has to be a tradition. That's how my ex-husband was. And no knock to him. I'm not
Right.
insulting him whatsoever. I wish him nothing but the best on his path. But what I learned through that experience was he was very traditional. We live together. We go to church on Sundays. You go to the church I want to go to because I'm the head of the household. So we go where I say go. And it didn't work for me.
Mm-mm.
It didn't work
See,
for me because I was constantly put in this position where you're the woman, so your opinion is second
yeah, he
to
was
what I say.
definitely had a superiority complex
Mhm.
for
So I
sure.
can't do that.
No,
Yeah.
I would
If
never
it's
do
that
that.
situation, yeah, I can't be married again. But if it's, and I'm fine if I don't get married. I'm one of those
Right.
people where I could do the Oprah
I never thought I
Stedman or,
would. I never thought I
hmm
would. I literally never thought I would get married. I have 3 men that I have children with. I wasn't marrying none of them either. I
yeah,
was okay with it because I was like, I'm not marrying somebody I got a divorce. He's gonna
yeah,
have to be
exactly.
faithful to me. He's going to have to treat me like a freaking queen. He's going to have to
hmm
be a provider. I had all
hmm
these lists. I just didn't know he was gonna be white,
I
which was
love it.
fine.
Yeah,
I just,
yeah.
you don't Idris Elba was my husband at the time, you know. That was my husband. So I did
Yeah.
not know that another
I didn't
husband
know
was
we
gonna
were married
come,
to the same man.
hey, as long as I don't have to see your pictures on your desk, you know what I'm saying? It's all
Yeah.
good.
hmm
Who
hmm
was that? It was The Game. I used to be in love with The Game, the rapper The Game.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I worked at Bell South, there was this other girl that loved him too. And I was talking to somebody that sat next to her, and I saw his picture on her desk in a frame. Girl, I took that picture off her desk so quick and put it on my desk. And it was like 3 days later, she comes over. She's like, you got my picture. And I was like, no, it's my picture. She's like, excuse me. I said, well, how would you feel if somebody had your husband on their desk?
Oh my God.
And she was like, give me my picture.
That's hilarious.
Oh
I
yeah, I
love
go
it.
hard. I go hard to paint. But this man came, and I'm telling you, he's the provider 100%. But
hmm
up until he got sick, he was doing all the grocery shopping. He would do the
hmm
laundry. Like, he would cook on the weekends. I would cook when I feel like it.
hmm
They get excited when I cook. Everybody likes it, but nobody makes me cook.
Exactly. See, you just said the key words.
Yeah, nobody makes that doesn't
hmm
happen. I'm
hmm
not, no, absolutely not. But again, he's the breadwinner. But
Yeah.
we are in a marriage together. So it's not
Yeah.
all about what he wants or what I want, it's what we want. But he likes to
It,
make it like all about what I want. And I say no, because you're not going to resent me in 10 years. You're going to
yeah.
consider yourself too,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now
Yeah.
you're important too. I have to tell him that all the time. David, you're important
hmm
too. And like now that
hmm
he's sick, he's so good. But the other day we were coming home from the doctor and I needed gas. And he can't hardly walk anymore. And
hmm
so I had to stop at the gas station to get the gas. And it's like, this is killing me, right? And I'm
hmm
like, what? He was like, white man sitting in the car, black woman pumping gas. I don't. And I'm like, baby, okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to make sure I get gas when you ain't nowhere around. Cause I don't want you feeling like people are looking at you like you got a
Yeah.
worker or something. Like
Oh,
he is so conscious of those things.
yeah.
Like, my baby
Yeah.
is everything. And people like to
Well,
weaponize him against me
just
when I'm speaking, like, your husband's white. Why are
mhm.
you even saying anything? Like, I hit you in your face. What's that got to do with anything?
Oh my gosh, I like him. I like him already just from what you're saying.
Oh my goodness, you
That's
would love my
awesome.
husband. He's one of those
Yeah.
truth tellers. He's one of
Yeah.
those guys that tells the truth about America, and all the right wing nuts get mad at him. He's a
hmm
libtard. He's a snowflake. He's all this. No, he's a truth teller. And when I tell you, we have thousands of books, and he read them all. I didn't read all these books. We've got books
Uh-huh.
in every freaking bedroom. Every room of the house has books. Period, except for the
Yeah.
kitchen. Well,
Yeah.
cookbooks. So there's books in the kitchen too. So, but you know, he's just one of those, and I'm like, baby, you really need to work on your book. He needs to do a book
Mm.
of essays because he knows all about racism, how it started, all the different institutions, how it affects people, and he can just run it right down to you. You can give him a right wing talking point, and he can dissect it and
Mm.
make you feel like this big. And so those right wing people, oh, screw you, David Cooley. You know, it's like you ain't got nothing better to say, you know,
Oh
because
gosh.
my
Yeah.
husband's a truth teller. So when people say, "Oh, well, you're married to a white man," that would never say anything ignorant like you just said, brother. He
Right,
would
right.
never say half the stuff that you've said about black people. He would never, because I would
Yeah.
divorce him.
Right.
You know, because I'm
Exactly.
checking black men all the time about the things that they say, like when they equivocate Black Lives Matter to Black balance. Like, dude, Black Lives Matter is a movement.
Mm-hmm.
It is a
Yeah.
defined movement about police brutality against black people. It has nothing to do with black on black crime. When Tyrone shoots Kevin, Tyrone's going to jail.
Yes. Yeah.
Tyrone's not
Yeah.
getting paid administrative leave. Tyrone is not on the people's payroll. Tax
Yeah.
dollars are not paying Tyrone. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So this
Yeah.
is something totally different. This is tyranny. You
Yes.
know, this is,
Yes.
you know, oppression on a whole nother level. They are an institution that has been used to keep black people in their place and to keep them, you know, they are there to police us. They're not there. They don't patrol, you know, white neighborhoods. It's not because white neighborhoods don't have balance. It's because they aren't the targets.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Exactly.
everything is built around it. So when I say things like there are no real good cops unless everybody in the department is good. You know, if you got one
Yeah.
bad person in the department, then nobody's good as far as I'm concerned because you're turning a blind eye to who you know is doing wrong.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
good cops get fired or quit. That's the way I
Mm-hmm.
look at it.
Mm.
And until they prove me different, and that would be you show me a cop whose arrests match the demographics of his city. Meaning if
Mm-hmm.
there's only 10% black people, his arrests only consists of 10% black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
why is his arrest at 30%, but the blacks are only 10? Why is it
Yeah.
30% blacks being arrested? You know, so those types of things is like I say, look, I'll give you some factors. And when you can show me that guy, then I'll say, hey, you're a
Mm-hmm.
good cop. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that people don't go in with the right intentions, but when you stay, like the guys who were being trained but that killed George Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of them, one or two of them that was their first day on the job. They were learning the job. Like, why didn't you quit? When you
Yeah.
realize part of the job was to mistreat people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, I don't feel sorry for you. You stayed on the job, dude. Like, you
Yeah.
stayed there. You didn't quit on the spot. I would have quit.
They were just as complicit
It just
because
isn't.
they allowed
He
it to
was
happen.
in the truck. He was in the police car. They put him
Mm-hmm.
out to murder him. There was no
Mm-hmm.
excuse. And they were like, well, he
Yeah.
was on drugs. No, his drug was carbon monoxide. They had him sucking up
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
auto fumes for
Mm-hmm.
9 minutes. It was blowing
Yeah.
right in his face.
Yeah.
They knew what they
It's
were doing, you know, and
they
it
have
is,
to say that to cover up their actions, to try
oh
to cover it up because they think we're stupid,
yeah,
but
that's what they
it's
think.
like it was on video.
But see, it's
And the
things
only
like
one
that
people make
that has us traumatized. Like as a black woman, I'm traumatized.
yeah.
Um, like you don't like I don't even want my sons to move out on their own because it's dangerous. You know, what if, you know, they encounter the police? They're 6 footers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anything can happen. I know that they're not dangerous. I know that they're not going to hurt anybody, but these police officers are already looking at them like the criminals.
Yeah.
They've never been
Yeah.
arrested, never been stopped by the police or anything. But it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't matter. You know, they'd still try
Yeah.
to find the media would find a way to, you know, criminalize my sons if the police killed them. Neither one of
Yeah.
them have a record, not even a speeding ticket, nothing. They would probably
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, they're sons of a weed smoker, you know, something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
the weed
Yeah.
smoker. I'm the weed smoker. So
They would find something to make up.
yeah,
Exactly.
just to demonize the
It's
person to
sickening.
make the world feel like they deserve what they got. So
Exactly.
enough about that crap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It gets a little sad. I did want to talk about Breonna Taylor, but I'm gonna let her rest today. I'm gonna let it rest because we already went a little deep on the racism side. But
I know.
so are we still celibate?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yes,
I remember those
unfortunately.
days though. I swear I
Yeah.
do. I would go through my moods and I'm like, ain't nobody getting nothing from me. And
Yeah.
I never was celibate. I would just be abstaining,
Yeah.
but the best way for me to
Mhm.
tell a person is like, yeah, I'm celibate. I wasn't celibate. I ain't make no religious oath that I'm going to save myself. It wasn't that. It was just, ain't nobody worth it.
Yeah.
So ain't
Yeah,
nobody getting it.
maybe I'm not using the right words. Yeah, because I didn't set out to not,
Right. It just,
have sex. It just happened that way. People are like, "How could you not have sex?" I'm like, "I'm a single mom with no help." I was like,
right.
I don't understand what's, I guess you wouldn't understand if you've never been a single parent doing everything on your own, financially, physically, emotionally. I'm
Right.
like, by the time I am, if I do ever get a break, I'm so tired. All I want to do is go take a damn nap or be by myself because I've been with the 6-year-old 24 hours a day, 7 days a
Right.
week. So when I finally get a break, I don't want to be bothered with
And then
anything.
people got to understand when you got that good, they going to bother
Mm,
me. Like I can't just give somebody something and then they leave me alone. You don't need
exactly.
to call
Yeah.
and check to see what I'm doing every 5 minutes. Gosh.
Yeah.
Like, and then what if it's bad? Like we talked about that.
Right.
Like when you go through a spell where you're way past what I've ever,
Hmm.
way past any length of time that I've ever waited to have sex. But when you get it that
Well,
first time after and it's bad, you just want to beat them
well,
up.
it's not just that too, but I also think about, I know people may think I sound conceited when I say this, but it's not being conceited at all because I'm a very public person and a lot of people know me.
Hmm.
I have a lot of male suitors that are after me. And I'm not going to be the one because, I've been very vocal about not having any for the last six
Hmm.
years. I'm not going to be the one on your um, notch for you to go and brag. Look who I got. So
Right.
until I meet a man that I feel is emotionally mature and is not just with me so he can go and brag to his boys, look what I got, look who I landed.
Exactly.
Until I meet that guy, I'm going to remain, what's the word you used? Abstinence?
Abstinent. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm
And
going to
they just have to
abstain.
deal with it. Like I remember going through changes in my like late 20s to early 30s, and I would be like, how many guys got it because they use the line, well, ain't we grown? We both
Right.
grown.
Yes.
Grown. So
And
I
then as soon
stopped
as they get in
drinking.
their car and leave, they're calling their
Oh
boy. Hey
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, I got it. Family.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was worth it, but dang, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because
nah.
that'll be such a huge disappointment to me if I find out that someone that I finally waited, I waited all this time, and then I find out that he's a child still.
Oh,
I'll be like, that will be a huge disappointment. So I
like,
told the
have you
universe,
seen a doctor
you got to
about
bring me a grown
this?
man. Yeah, you got to bring me a grown, mature man
Like, why did
who's
you leave the
not.
rest of your penis at home? Go get it. This isn't fair. I
Yeah,
want my
yeah.
snatch back.
Exactly. I want a real connection, not someone who's looking for the trophy or, oh,
Right.
I landed this girl, I'm so past that.
Something
I'm like,
really right. And you
yeah.
pretty much know right away because within a couple of weeks, if they're just in it for the draws, they're gonna be disinterested. They're not gonna
Hmm.
keep
Yeah.
like, oh, this is taking too long. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I used to say that all the time. I'm like, I tell a female, if you just give him 2 weeks, he will say something to never deserve the cat.
Yep.
9 times out, he will
Yeah.
say something, do something to show you who he is. Give it time.
Exactly. Yep.
Give it
Give them
time.
time. Don't give them anything until
Nothing.
you've given it time.
I'm
Yep.
like, and why should you give him anything that he wants if he hasn't given you whatever it is that you want? Need to be a
Hmm.
relationship, need to be help, whatever the case. No, you're
Hmm.
not getting like I remember at towards the end, I would do this number. They would be asking me for sex, and I would be like, yeah, my rent's 700.
Mm.
And they would be like, it's too early for you to be asking me for rent, and it's too early for you to be asking me for kitty. Don't
Bingo.
do it. Don't
Amen.
do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Like if you
Yes.
don't want me in your pocket, don't try to get in my pocket.
Thank you. I like that.
You know,
We need a t-shirt that says that.
yeah. If you don't want me in your pocket, don't try to get him in. It's simple.
Exactly.
We could be both. We
Exactly.
both. Neither one of us getting what we want. See, I
Yeah.
still got to pay my own rent. You still got to jack your penis. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
all good.
Exactly.
No harm, no foul. But I tell,
Exactly.
hey, if it's too early for that, then it's too early for that. Period.
Yeah, there was a guy. The last time I was interested in the guy was about a year ago. It was in Atlanta. We were on the same radio station, but he was on another show.
Mm-hmm.
And he expressed interest. So we hung out, and he had 4 kids. So I'm thinking, okay, he's got 4 kids. He's taking care of them. He's the predominant caretaker. So I'm thinking, okay, he's got to have some sense. He's got to get it. He's got 4 kids, and he's in their lives, right? Unfortunately, one night he came to my show as a guest, not to be on the show, but just to sit in and listen.
Right.
And when he came in, the owner of the radio station was also in the room at the same time. And the guy that I was interested in comes over, and he's never done this before, but now all of a sudden he's all affectionate and whispering all in my ear. And I knew he was doing that just to show the owner of the station,
This is somebody that I'm seeing.
this is my territory. And just to kind of, without saying it, he was trying to subliminally put the message like we're together. We had never slept together. And it just really turned me off. I'm like, why are you being all extra?
Exactly.
And I was a huge turnoff to me. I'm like, if you still feel like you need to be all touchy feely when there's another man around to try to show, oh, this,
My
this is
alpha
me right here.
tendencies.
Yeah. When we're not even like that yet, we're not even
Right.
there yet. We're still just getting to know each
Like,
other.
how you know I ain't trying to smash that later tonight?
Right.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
When I invited him to my show to be a guest in the audience, it was just to come and sit and listen and hang out. And when he did that, I immediately got turned off. I was like,
Right.
no,
It's like,
I
nope.
don't. Yeah,
You ain't gonna be able to
yeah.
handle it. Nope.
You're not grown.
That is small penis energy.
Boom.
Leave it at the door.
Thank you.
Leave it at the door, because hey, when you know who you are, you don't have to do all that.
You don't have to do all that. A confident, real grown, emotionally mature man would have come, been respectful of my space. This is my time to do my show, not time for you to come and prove to whatever other man is in there that I'm with you.
Right.
That's not the time.
When you ain't even had it. Couldn't even smell it out of a crowd.
We haven't even kissed. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, why are you all up on me?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, and I had a joke about that in my comedy. It's like, you have to vet these guys to see if they can handle it. When you got really good WAP, you cannot just give it to the weak. It is not for the weak.
Exactly.
It is not for the weak. And I would be like, listen, you ain't one of those guys that don't like to leave when somebody asks you to leave. Like, you ain't one of them, are you? Okay. Like, because when I need you to go, I need you to go. I don't.
Right. Yeah.
No, I don't want you. I don't think it's cute if you come over here unexpected. That's not cute to me.
Exactly.
You will get cussed out or shot. Yeah. Do not knock on my door, and I did not invite you.
Right.
I'm not that girl. It's not cute. Because some girls be like that. Girl, he tried to come over here, and that ain't me.
Think it's cute. That's
you gonna get real cussed. Like, dang, yes, it's like that. It's like, I have children. You can't just come over here and just expect to get in. And if my kids are here, you're not getting in.
Exactly.
I was very strict about that. Like, no.
Yeah.
After I grew, when I was in my early 20s, I didn't, think it was a problem. I pay my own rent. I can have in here where I want. I had to think about, I had to grow and say, as a mother, my mother never did me like that. I never had people in the house. She never had people in the house that I didn't know who they were. And I had to think, if she did, would I be comfortable? Would I be uncomfortable? Right. Will I feel safe? And I said, my boys probably don't even feel safe. So I got to stop that right now. So it was just me growing as a mother. I tell people all the time, I have not always been like this.
Well, hey, we're all forever growing. Progress. Yeah, we're all a work in progress.
Yeah, I had to break some generational curses, and here I am. So
good for you.
That's the gist of it. So yeah. So anything you want to leave with the people? Anything you want to promote at all?
The only thing I want to promote is Just live your best life
Yes.
according to your own beliefs.
Yes.
People say they want freedom, but they don't even know what freedom really is. So, in my own words, freedom is when you can live your life according to your own terms and not based on the beliefs that were pushed upon you. Unless it's something that truly resonates with you, then by
Right.
all means. But if it doesn't,
Right. I tell people all
then
the time,
that's
live in your own truth
mhm,
because that's the only way you can live this life without resentment. If you
mhm,
live for your mother, that gives you someone to resent if things don't work out the way you want them to. If you live for your
exactly.
father, same thing. If you live for your friends, same thing. I tell my kids and my friends, always be happy with you. Do
Mhm,
whatever you need to do to where you can look at you in the mirror and be okay. Because at the end of the day, you have to answer to you, and it's your voice that's gonna continue to run when you make the wrong decision. It's that voice that says, I
exactly.
told you, dummy. I told you to leave it alone. You didn't want to leave it
Mhm,
alone. No, you want to go on back over there. Oh, you thought the penis was that good that you could just go back over there. You thought he was going to do you right. Told you, dumb. But, it's that voice that really
yeah. They think
makes you
it's
slap him when he
financial.
hurts
They
you.
people think freedom is financial freedom, not going to a job and working for themselves. I'm like, no, all of that will fall into place, but once you get what it is in here, then all of that falls into place. But you got to get it right in here first.
Oh, yeah. Because when
Mhm,
I used to be a Christian, nothing wrong with Christianity. I ain't knocking no other Christians, but I did not know freedom until I stepped away from that. And it really is a religion of bondage. It holds you back. Every time you do something that's fun, it makes you feel bad about it. And it's
mm,
like, no, I'm gonna be free with me. And I don't tap to a church, but I tap to people that I feel like
mhm,
need it. I don't
mhm,
consider myself a Christian, but I do have a lot of Christian values within me. I
mhm.
don't worship the Bible or any book, but like I said, a lot of the values I still carry. I'm still a work in progress. If God should lead me back to the Bible, then I will go there. But right now, it's on the shelf, but I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
I'm not reading it, because I've
Mhm,
done that, and I tell my dad, he's heavy Christian. And I'm like, Dad, no
mhm.
offense, but my life was terrible for 37 years.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
was terrible when I was a Christian. I did not
Wow.
find freedom until I let that go. Like now I don't have like I literally say what's on my mind, which sometimes is bad, but knowing that there's no one that you can call to get me in trouble.
Mhm,
Knowing that, when I encounter these racists online, I go in on their necks. I don't
mhm.
damn a racist. But there's nobody you can call and make me lose my job, baby. I'm self-made.
Yeah. Good
Thanks
for
to my
you.
husband. No, thanks to my husband, because without him, I would be working somebody's job and you probably could get me fired, but I ain't got no job. I say what I won't say. Colonizer. Colonizer.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Good for
Yeah.
you. Congratulations.
Yes. I mean, I love it, but
Mhm.
when I get stressed out, dealing with him, his situation, whatever I go on the internet and I find racists and I just tear them down. I have them
That's a good
ready.
place
Like
to
I had
release your
this
stress.
one, he came for
Uh-huh.
me, no, come on. He's challenging me to a shootout or whatever. And I was just
Oh,
talking real bad to him. I said, I understand that small
yeah.
penis energy got you over there holding your guns. You don't care as long as you got your guns. That's the great equalizer because you get your butt whooped without that gun, would you? He's like, well, I got
Mhm.
other things to do. I don't got time to be sitting here talking. Oh, so now you got other things to do. You don't want to talk to me no more.
But you
Okay.
you you had all that hot air in your
You
chest
had
when you
all that
came
hot
for me.
air a few minutes ago. Then I started tagging my peoples to get him.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He
Yeah.
never came
Now all of
back
a
and
sudden
said
he's busy.
anything. You're talking to a black
Yeah.
female, but you don't want to talk to the black men that are asking you for your address so that you can shoot
Bingo.
your little gun off. You didn't want to
Mhm.
shoot it off, did you? But
Yeah.
damn a racist. I love everybody that loves everybody.
Yeah.
You can't come to me as a black person talking about separation. You want to separate, baby. My husband's white. That's not gonna work for me. You
Right,
know,
exactly.
and even if he wasn't, I'm
Mhm.
just I believe that there's enough good white people, enough good black people, enough good Asians, enough good Hispanics that the good ones can all live together. Everybody else, y'all can go to Guantanamo Bay as far as I'm concerned.
Go send them off to an island.
Send them off to Guantanamo Bay. Y'all messing up America, what America wants to be. Not y'all want us to be what we used to be, but we're trying to be something better. And so those people, like, I will give my last to anyone that I don't know, as long as I know that that person is a good person. I have stopped giving to bums. You know that?
Yeah.
I have stopped giving to white bums. I used to give to everybody that would ask me for money. I do not want to be giving money to somebody that does not look at me as a human. And so many people, so many racists came out of the woodworks that I have to look at everybody now. Like, wow, that's how y'all really felt. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to keep my little black dollars in my purse until I know who you are. And I hate to be that way. Because like I said, my whole life, I've always given whatever I could. Sometimes it's $5 or $10 bill. It just depends on how, what God tells me to do. God sometimes says give a 20. And I just give a 20 and I just keep it moving. I feel like God's within me. So it's the little voice in my head. But,
well, sometimes God's telling you too to that's God telling you to do that too. And when you feel like
it's like, you'll smile in my face and say, thank you, sister. God bless you. And then if I don't give it to you, probably calling me the N word as I drive off. So I don't have time. And it's like they know. And anybody that panhandles will tell you that Black people are the most generous. Isn't that crazy? We give the most, but we get the least out of society. But I think it's because we know what it's like to need. So we always want to give. It's crazy, but yeah, girl. Well, I'm gonna let you get to your. You said what?
I said I believe that.
Yeah,
because like I said, I'm 45, and my first experience was when I was 13, and never looked back since.
When I was 13, I remember my uncle gave me my first experience in standing up for myself. We were in this store. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so we were in this store on 4th Street, and it was Asian ran. And the guy, it was one of those little boutiques where they had like clothes and sunglasses and things like that. And me and my cousin were standing there playing with the glasses. We was putting them on, trying them on, or whatever. And my uncle, he was well-to-do. He was a journalist. He had worked for the Detroit Free Press, all these different prestigious newspapers or whatever. And he was next door while we were in this store. And the owner was like, put it down. You can't afford it. You don't break my glasses and stuff. As he's chastising us, and we just kind of like, calm down, dude, taking them off and putting them down. My uncle comes from behind us like, don't you ever talk to my daughters and my niece like that again. I mean, he ripped him up one way and down the next. He said, I'll buy everything in this store and the store and you.
Yeah, seriously. Good
and then he turned to us. Don't y'all ever let nobody. And I'm like, yes, sir. I won't never let nobody talk to me like that no more. He said, you in here, you could buy anything in here that you want, but you ain't going to spend a dime with them. He's like, don't you ever let nobody talk to you like that again. You ain't got to tell me twice. And I always say he woke up the militants in me. I was used to it. I was used to going in the store, browsing, and then being talked to like I didn't have no business being in there. And it was like, it was common. It was like the normal thing. That's why I say we get taught these things. And like the textbooks now, when they're talking about crime, they've got Black people in handcuffs and the police handling Black people, like actual pictures of somebody getting arrested. Like, this is what you're showing. These are the images that you're implanting in these kids' brains, that this is what a criminal looks like, a dark-skinned Black male.
Exactly.
There it goes deep.
And some of the biggest criminals are the ones in suits and ties.
Oh yeah. The boys in blue, I like to say, they say, well, why aren't the police ever there when the KKK meet? I said, you never saw Clark Kent and Superman in the same room together either, did you? How the police gonna be there at the KKK rally when the police are the KKK?
They are. That. Exactly. There you go. Exactly. Keep telling them and teaching them.
Yeah, girl, I got to. You keep on inspiring and putting these people in their place, because, girl, you always give me one. And I just, you always giving me one. Like, he thought he was gonna get the and he ain't getting it. No. I be like, look at Ann. Baby girl, I really appreciate you doing this with me. It's just been a very enlightening conversation. You touched on stuff that I had planned to ask you about, but you just came on out and talked about it on your own, about your cultural background and things like that. So I appreciate you sharing. And this platform is really, like I said, I just like to have these organic conversations, see where they go, see what I can learn about, you know, the people I'm speaking with. I learned a lot about you, that you are as compelling as I thought you were. So,
well, thank you. The feeling is mutual.
Thank you,
And I was so happy to spend this time with you too. And thank you for asking me. I felt so
Yes,
special when you asked
absolutely.
me. Yeah.
And when I get big, now I'm gonna have you back on, you know.
Oh,
So
listen, you just let me know
I sure will.
date and time, and I will be there.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Ann. Thank you so much.
Of course, honey. You have a good night, and thank you again.
You too. Hug the dogs and kiss the kid.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.